Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan, has said that he is willing to arrest leaders like yourself for standing in the way of these policies that they want to enact. Would you be willing to go to jail for these things?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. What we're seeing here is audition season. Every time I listen to this, I was just sitting there listening, just shaking my head. This is audition season for every single scumbag communist in this country trying to get promoted, and they're all going to try to get promoted to the next gig by acting like they love the illegals so much, and we'll lay down and die for them. Joining me now, the great Sara Gonzales, host of Unfiltered on the Blaze TV. Hey, Sara, tell me, you think that effeminate little dork is going to be standing in front of the tanks to protect Pedro?
That gangly soy boy is going to do nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. By the way, Jesse, I do notice that you have the Gonzales on to talk about illegal immigration. I don't think that's a coincidence.
No, look, I wanted to make sure we were being respectful in every way. I understand that you didn't cross the border crossed you, Sara. That's all.
Yeah, no, it is so funny. You're right. It is audition season, and that's what you're seeing with this little guy, gangly guy. He's not going to do anything. And the fact of the matter is, honestly, I wish that he would. I hope that all of these people, you've got him in Denver, you've got the Massachusetts governor. I hope that these people actually do what they say they're going to do, because you know what? If you want to open up your state, you want to open up Denver, we can have all 10 million, 12 million, if you believe the conservative estimates, which I don't. I think it's way higher, who came in during Joe Biden's tenure. We'll send all 10 million to your town, and you can figure out how to deal with it, because we're cleaning up the rest of the streets here in this country. I hope that they do that, because they would soon realize something that you and I know that they both already know. But if they hadn't realized it, they would very soon realize it's unsustainable, which is why all of them have to go, which is what we've seen in New York and Chicago and all these places. They're like, yeah, actually, the inn is full. We're out of room. So I wish that they actually did this, but we both know that they're not going to.
Sara, I'm asking you to do an impossible task, but let's walk through the mind of the American communist. Let's say you are a communist and you live in Denver, and of course you go down and you vote Democrat every single time. I have to vote Democrat. But when you're sitting there and you're watching your city, Denver used to be the sickest city. I don't know if you've ever had any fun there. Yeah. I certainly have. And now it's just this dump, this homeless, infested, crime-ridden dump. And even if you are some born and bred commie, how are you not outraged that your mayor is publicly proclaiming that he's going to protect all the dirtballs that have destroyed your city? Do you think this is the kind of thing that moves these people?
Well, and that's what we're seeing full circle. All of this is happening in full circle, that you're seeing all of these people who, as you point out, think, oh, I'm a good little commie, I'm going to vote Democrat. Well, here is the revelation that they're faced with. Your policies have led to this decision. And at a certain point, you would think that they would have to reflect. They're going to have to reflect at a certain point when they look around at the Laken Rileys of the country and they look around them and go, oh, we're actually not safe. You cannot sustain this policy. We have to clean up our streets. We have to clean up the crime. And so at a certain point, they're going to realize and be faced with the ramifications of their own decisions. You would think, but again, I can't be in their minds, and I'm not quite that stupid. So I'm not sure if they ever get to that point, but you would think a reasonable, common sense person, even someone who was, misguided with their political beliefs, would have to eventually realize at a certain point in this disaster that they have to have a course correct. And at a certain point, you'd think that this mayor or whoever is going to be held accountable. But I wasn't voting. I wasn't dumb enough to vote for them in the first place. So what do I know?
Sara, what are you cooking for Thanksgiving? Are you, traditional turkey type or enchiladas or something? What do you make for Thanksgiving?
In my Mexican family, they do tamales. But we do turkey and ham. Listen, you would die if you tried my grandmother's tamales. They are wonderful, and that's a Thanksgiving and Christmas tradition. It's turkey and ham and the traditional American Thanksgiving.
Gosh, there's this tamale truck right by where I work, and it looks like you're going to get kidnapped but there's a line around the block because there's these three little old Mexican ladies in their home making the best friggin' tamales you've ever had in your life in the green sauce. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Sarah, let's talk about Donald Trump's cabinet picks. Some have been awesome. Some have just been a steaming hot pile of crap. Which ones do you like? Which ones don't you like?
Yeah, well, I got to be honest with you. I was very disappointed that Ken Paxton here in the state of Texas was not nominated for the AG after Matt. First of all, I thought before Matt Gaetz. Then after the Matt Gaetz debacle, I thought, okay, now's the time that he's going to nominate Ken. And that didn't end up happening. And instead, there was a Pam Bondi who I'm really not sold on. She's made some very questionable comments about the Second Amendment that I have concerns about. So I'm concerned about that one. I'm concerned about the Surgeon General, Dr. Jeanette. She has also made some questionable comments during the COVID era that I think that she definitely needs to answer for. So I do have some concerns. I'm very excited about RFK. I'm very excited about Dave Weldon. So the CDC, the FDA, Dr. Marty Makary, I'm very, very excited about those, especially when it comes to making America healthy again, which I've been a firm believer in for a very long time, before even we were talking about this mainstream. So I'm excited about those picks. But you point out, and correctly so, it seems like a very big disconnect because he'll get some so right, and then he turns around and makes a total opposite decision, and you go, wait a second, how do all of these align? It seems to be, a little bit, I don't know, concerning. Linda McMahon, Department of Education, I can't figure that one out either. I don't think that she really wants to abolish the Department of Education, which is what we were sold. So, I mean, listen, I want to trust the plan. I'm just proceeding with caution, but I'm very excited about the Department of Government Efficiency if they do what they say they're going to do, which is, of course, another concern.
Well, let's talk about that, as a matter of fact. I'm very excited about it, too. In fact, many of my friends are texting me. That's the thing they're most excited about, more than Hegseth, more than any of it. And I'll be honest, I fall in love easy with people who say they want to chop the government because I hate the freaking government. So when I hear you're going to fire a bunch of government employees, I'm all in. But it's easier said than done. Should we be tempering our expectations here?
I mean, look, I think that we have a right. We deserve to expect really great results here because that's what they've sold us. And if Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, want to stand on a stage knowing that they are going to be seen by millions of people and tell them we are cutting this much of the government, what was it Elon Musk said, a third? We are cutting this much government. We are going to deliver results for the American people. I think that we're correct to expect that they are going to follow through on that. Now, I think in any other administration, we should maybe temper our expectations, temper our concerns. But this was a mandate. This election was a mandate that the American people said. I mean, you're showing this footage here. These people were on fire with these men coming up and talking about these things that we all know need to be done. So I think if there were ever a time in our history, in our country, when we could expect that they will do it, I think it would be this administration. And to your point, if it doesn't happen during this administration, if it doesn't happen with the 18 months that they say that they have, which I do think obviously it will need to go longer. If it doesn't happen, it never will. So this is our one chance. We just have to get it right.
Do you think the American public, we touched on this a little earlier, do you think the American public is ready for not mass deportations? I think in and of itself they are ready for that, but are they ready for the propaganda campaign that's going to just double barrel blast away at them, Sarah? You already see it beginning. What about the women? What about the kids? We're separating families. Lupe's really sad. The propaganda is going to be overwhelming.
Oh, Lupe, it was nice of you to mention my aunt. But so I do agree with you that there is going to be a certain amount of the general public who, when polled right now in this moment, they say, yes, we need mass deportations. Now, when that starts actually happening, it feels icky, right? I don't like the pictures. It makes me feel bad. I'm uncomfortable. And I do think that you are going to see a little bit of the general public shift in their perception of this. But that is when the Trump administration needs to stand firm, and they need to remind people anytime you get the optics, anytime you get, a little kid crying because their criminal dad is being hauled away, taken back to Venezuela or Mexico or wherever the hell he came from. I do think that it's important to remind all of these people who are watching, I'm uncomfortable with it too, right? If you're Donald Trump, you say, I'm uncomfortable with it too. I don't like it either. It feels bad. That's why you should remember that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris brought us to this point, and we have no choice now but to clean it up. And so I do think that they just need to be prepared for that. I hope that it doesn't dissuade them or deter them because, as you mentioned, I mean, it's a must. We have to have this, and we have to have someone who really doesn't give a crap about the blowback. We got to get it done. And then once it's over and we've deported all the criminals, start with the criminals first, right? We've deported all the criminals. And then he can say, I've just made America safer. I'm sorry that it was uncomfortable for you, but you guys will be safer. Your children will be safer and more prosperous now that we've done the dirty work that needed to be done thanks to Joe Biden.
No doubt. I think we should start with the kids. Let's get this society cleaned up. Sara, thank you so much. I appreciate you, as always. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.